Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Mehdi. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at my current most favorite top 12 best fragrances from House of Armaf. Before starting the main list, I have here one honorable mention, Armaf Hunter Intense, for two reasons. These great long-lasting compliment monster fragrances, only honorable mention. First, it is a bit difficult to get this one, hard to find it. And second, I have another option which is close to this fragrance, and this one is a bit too redundant to that fragrance, Urban Man Elixir. So that's why Armaf Hunter Intense is honorable mention. Let's see the main list. Let's start the list by Sauville Prom, a mass appealing complimenting scent with average performance. I really enjoyed it. It is like aquatic and herbal, let's say like Invictus and Dior Sauvage together, without being that much peppery, aggressive, ambroxany, like that lavendery backbone of Dior Sauvage. 30%, 60% that's aquatic Invictus sweet profile, and 10% some added citruses. It is more citrusy compared to both of those fragrances. So if you like aquatic, sweet and herbal fragrances with touch of woodiness at the base, you're gonna enjoy this fragrance as well. Performance is average, little bit above average, like 6 hours, 7 hours on my skin with first hour around half average projection and sillage, and very great complimenting factor. At number 11, Italiano Nero Humo. I would describe this fragrance as a yummy, mouth-watering, fruity and creamy scent with earthy dry down and prominent pineapple notes at the opening. You can catch also fresh, citrusy, sour notes at the top of the fragrance, but it is more about that creamy pineapple, gets woodier, and somehow, let's say, it's better to say earthier at the dry down. I like that earthy stance of this fragrance. Lasts very long, but it doesn't project that loud. Gets crazy compliments. At number 10, Bois Luxois, one of those 10 out of 10 masterpiece jobs from House of Armaf. Smells very bossy, mature, and definitely has that age factor to it. Nothing juvenile or youthful teenagery here. Smells dirty, mature, manly, very sexy and well done. One of those down to perfection fragrances. I would describe it as a dirty citrusy fragrance with touch of leafy notes at the background and leather at the base. Reminds me of Dior Fahrenheit, or let's say closer to Aqua Fahrenheit, because it is more citrusy compared to the regular Dior Fahrenheit. Lasts above average, like 6 to 7 hours, sometimes pushes up to 8 hours, and projection and sillage is good for first hour and a half. Number 9, Milestone, Club de Nuit Milestone. I want to make it short and clear. If you don't like this type of unusual niche smelling fragrances, this fragrance is not for you. If your nose is not what so-called trained nose, if you like just fresh and extremely designery, mainstream smelling safe fragrances, this is not for you. It is a fresh fragrance, definitely gets compliments, but not for everybody. It is very exotic, different, smells like muddy, dirty, soily, rooty, plus salty, and at the top some sort of, I can say, tropical fruits. Very challenging and different, but if you like this fragrance, this is definitely a complimenting and unusual smelling niche type of cheapy, expensive smelling type of cheapy. Definitely at the opening I get a bit of powderiness because of iris, so it is powdery, it is salty. At the dry down gets a bit ambroxany, woody, and somehow salty, very close to Millésime Imperial from House of Creed. A fresh fragrance, gets compliments for me. Lasts like 8 hours. For this price, this scent profile and performances, too good, I have to say. I like it, but again I have to say it is not a blind buy worthy scent. At number 8, Armaf Craze. So it is a nutty, creamy herbal fragrance with big dose of lavender at the top, let's say, because after 20 minutes that lavender calms down, that blast of lavender calms down, and I like it when it is less lavendery, let's say, after for like 20 minutes, and gets more about amber and vanilla, plus some sort of creamy nuttiness at the background of the fragrance. Armaf Crazy's Cologne of Pegasus from House of Perfumes de Marly, but very close, let's say, but that first 20 minutes, this one leans more lavendery or herbal compared to the Pegasus. So performance is average. I remember very first batches was like 12 hours plus in terms of longevity, and very great projection and sillage. This one is reformulated version, like 5 to 6 hours, let's say, in terms of longevity with first hour and a half, average soft type of projection and sillage. Number 7, XLS, one of those stylish masculine Armaf fragrances. Oh my goodness, very addictive. It is leathery, slightly little boozy, sweet sugary with touch of grassy green feel at the top of the fragrance. It is not exact cologne, but reminds me of CH Men and CH Men Privé from House of Carnerera. I can say CH Men Privé is much more prominent here as it is more leathery and boozy. One of those unfairly underrated piece of gem from House of Armaf. Smells very dressed up and sexy, masculine. I would prefer it for date night situations, close encounters, as it is not that great in terms of projection and sillage, but smells highly sexy. Performance is like 6 hours, 7 hours, let's say good 6 hours, with first hour average type of projection and sillage. At number 6, Armaf Magnificent. I really enjoy this scent profile. It is sweet, it is dense, long lasting, concentrated. I would say a sweet synthetic fragrance, not overly synthetic, but yeah, it smells synthetic and has some sort of pencil shaving vibe at the background and vanilla at the base. Sweet, woody type of fragrance, very close to Pure Excess by Paco Rabanne. I can get better projection with Pure Excess, not with this one. This one lasts very long, like 10-12 hours plus easily. Projection and sillage is soft, gets compliments, but I prefer it for indoor situations. But Pure Excess I prefer it for outdoor situations. Definitely one of those complex, long-lasting and busy, crowded, woody, sweet fragrances. Now we are at top 5. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. Club de Nuit, iconic, at number 5. It is a refined and well-balanced type of fragrance from this house and less synthetic compared to 90% of other Armaf fragrances in my collection. It is a very polished type of fragrance. Reminds me of Bleu de Chanel EDT, not exact cologne of that fragrance. I have here missing that incensey note, which is backbone of Bleu de Chanel. Instead, I have here Ambroxan. That's why it reminds me of Dylan Blue somehow as well. It is like mixture of Bleu de Chanel and Dylan Blue together, but leans more to the Bleu de Chanel side. Lasts very long, projects very loud. One of those refined, expensive smelling, cheapy fragrances. Very classy and dressed up as well. At number 4, we have here Très Nuit, one of those timeless and classy type of fragrances, very close to Green Irish to it from House of Creed. Exact cologne, let's say, to this one, but this one leans more woody compared to the Green Irish to it. Green Irish to it is a bit more herbal at the base, but this one is woody at the base compared to that one, but leans very close and gets definitely as great as that one compliments. So if I have to give a percentage in terms of similarity to Green Irish to it, I would say maximum 80% because of that woody base. I prefer it for warmer seasons. Lasts only 6 to 7 hours plus in terms of longevity, with first hour and a half average projection and sillage. Number 3, Club de Nuit Sillage. It is a citrusy, fresh, unique, musky and woody fragrance. Reminds me of Silver Mountain Water from House of Creed, but what I said about Très Nuit was like 80% close to Green Irish because of that woody base. This one is also like that. It is like 80% maximum close to Silver Mountain Water. At the top it is very close, but at the dry down this one gets somehow ambroxany and woody, which is not available in the real stuff. It is not that woody type of fragrance. It is musky. Real stuff is muskier and somehow rodden at the dry down, but this one is like ambroxany and woody at the dry down with touch of spiciness at the betweens. In terms of performance, this one is hands down way better compared to Silver Mountain Water. It is like 10 hours plus on my skin. Silver Mountain Water is like maximum 6 to 7 hours plus, and projection and sillage is very loud in this fragrance, like 2 hours of solid projection and sillage. Sillage is even way bigger compared to the projection in this fragrance. I prefer it for spring and summer. At number 2, a 10 out of 10 job from House of Armaf in terms of price, scent profile, performance and compliments. Club de Nuit Urban Man Elixir. That's why I said Hunter Intense is only today honorable mention because of this fragrance. I believe they smell very close to each other, but this one is like next level version of Hunter Intense, but I can say they are very close to each other. So if I have to prefer one of these two fragrances, definitely I say Urban Man Elixir. It is a very crowded, busy and complex fragrance. Smells like mixture of few well-known compliment monster fragrances like YEDP, like Creed Aventus, Dior Sauvage and Paco Rabanne's Invictus. Not one of the most unique fragrances, but definitely creative. They selected some sort of crazy compliment getting fragrances and they put them in one bottle. So in terms of performance, I would say it is like solid 8 hours. It pushes until 10 hours, but let's say first 8 hours is solid, and then after I can get 2 hours of great projection and sillage. Oh, it is citrusy, herbal, woody, and ambroxany at the base. Number 1, I'm sure you already know it, Armaf Club the New Intense Man. EDP version is my most favorite, most worn, and most complimented fragrance from this house, or let's say in entire my journey. Okay, this fragrance is great in terms of performance, better compared to current batches of EDT, but yeah, I have also 22 batches of EDT, which was very weak, but now after a year I can say they are also strong. They need to rest a little bit. So this one is great in terms of opening. It is fruity, well balanced, polished, and great smoky at the dry down. Smells like smokier batches of Aventus at the dry down. I can get solid 8 hours plus in terms of longevity with this fragrance, and 2 hours of good projection and sillage. So in terms of performance, scent profile, and compliments, I believe EDP is my most favorite one. Take care, guys.